What would you do if your most important thing was taken from you? Or to rephrase, what would you do to the people that took the most important thing from you? Would you cower? Hide in fear that you may be their next target and live out the rest of your days looking behind your back? Or would you want revenge? Would you go out of your way to seek out who did you wrong and make sure they never, ever get the last laugh? How far would you go to get your revenge? Jujika No Rokunin is a good manga, I will say, but it's also an intense manga. It's not for the faint of heart, nor is it for those that are seemingly immature. The story contains violence, graphic imagery, and more. And while this video won't be as graphic as the manga, I still can't recommend you reading it if you can't handle those things, because curiosity may get the best of you. Jujika is a story about Uruma Shun and his path to get revenge on his bullies, the people who have tortured him his entire childhood. It's a revenge plot with no winner. Sure, Uruma goes around plotting and slowly destroying those who have destroyed his life, but this all has consequences, and they affect both him and the people around him. It's a dark story where I can't see a happy ending, but a happy ending isn't the point of Jujika, and don't go into it expecting one. From the start, it was impossible. Seeing as Uruma decides that no one will take his revenge but him, he sooner or later will probably have to face the consequences. But from what we see in the first chapter, it makes sense. Uruma Shun is a victim of bullying, a victim of hatred, and a victim of tragedy. Day in and day out, he's forced to do things that I would not wish upon a child his age, yet, due to his bullies Kuga, Ushiro, Madoka, San, and Shigoku, he goes through hell daily. Torture. I can only say that the young Uruma goes through torture every day. This all changes though, but only when his parents die, his younger brother is seemingly forever hospitalized, and he's taken away to live with his grandfather. That's when Uruma Shun changes. To put it simply, he becomes a hunter. Uruma Chapter 2 and on is someone who goes through a lot of character growth, but his underlying personality between his cold, heartless front he puts on is someone kind, someone who cares for others deeply, probably to a fault. He's willing to give those who have killed his family a second chance, and while we may see it as stupid, Uruma has always been someone who's looked for a friend. I honestly think he would take anything he could get, and before he's a cold-blooded killer who's decided to go out of his way to kill the people who have killed his family, you have to understand he's a caring person. You may hate some decisions he makes, you may judge some oversights he doesn't see, and you may not agree with what he says, but that's fine. Flaws make a good character, and until Uruma's flaws make him detestable, I can very easily recommend Jujika to you. My only real turnoff is some of the other characters. There are characters you'll like, characters you'll hate, characters you'll find annoying, and even characters that will die, but the most insufferable one of them all is Azuma. By herself, she's an okay character. She's introduced as someone who wants a boyfriend, and the cool, able to fight, badass Uruma falls right in front of her when she thinks this, and beats up a creep that was attacking her. It's not until chapter 6 and onwards where she becomes a detriment to the story. You'll find her annoying and ask why she's in it to begin with. The answer to that is that she's a MacGuffin. She's only used to drive Uruma to Ushiro, our second bully. All her decisions don't make sense. So many bad things happen to her, and she's put into situations where she can't do anything. It's okay to dislike her. She's a lazy piece of writing, but please don't stop reading Jujika because of her. After Ushiro, she's not important to the plot. It mostly becomes a side character. If anything, she's only used for a bit of comedy, but that's it. Jujika has a lot to offer, and don't let this one character spoil it for you. I especially love the idea of Shigoku trying to kill someone indirectly. He goes so far, to the point where he expects Uruma to kill himself. And while anyone else probably would have at some point due to this non-stop bullying, Uruma has his family, and they give him the strength to keep living. That's why when his family does die, Uruma decides not to kill himself, but to live to kill those who have killed what's most precious to him. To go through numerous hardships and endure training to live for those who he's lost. Jujika is a story based around death. As I said, characters die. They're also tortured, manhandled, and there's even a rape scene in it. A lot of things happen relating to death. But even with that all, the point of the story is about surviving. Uruma is a survivor, and while yes, mostly for revenge, he also has a form of hope in his hospitalized brother waking up. I pose a question to you, one with no wrong answer. Are you strong for accepting your mortality? Accepting the fact that you will one day die? Or are you strong in fearing it, yet still living, knowing your next day may be your last, but still doing what needs to be done? I feel like most people would say you're strong for accepting death. Death is the strongest thing, you can't beat it, it's inevitable. But if you know any second you could die, would you make the most of it? Or wallow in that fact, and slowly do less and less with your life because you know that one day it may end? That one day everything you've done will not matter because you won't be there. Are you even hungry to live at that point? Or are you taking the easy way out? And while fearing death means that you are scared of the inevitable, you're scared of something that will happen, so why even bother being scared of it? That hunger will bear fruit to uneasiness, and uneasiness to not accept it all, the uneasiness to get angry at life. What right does it have to take what's yours? I feel like that anger becomes drive, a drive to live in the moment, to do what needs to be done before your last second hits. At what point do you accept death to die? And at what point do you decide to live? To live for a cause, maybe to live for revenge. Jujika is a story based around death, sure, but on the same end of that coin, it's about living. Can you read Jujika for revenge, gore, violence, and everything else? Yeah. But can you also read it to see Uruma truly survive in a world filled with monsters? Absolutely. Thanks for watching. I decided not to use my camera in this video due to the subjects that Jujika brings up. I feel like it's a manga that deserves a serious video, not one where I would make jokes, but one where I respect the subject matter. If you like jokes though, I am a walking one, so do like and subscribe. Anyways though, like I say, my socials are in the description if you want more of me. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.